Hey everyone, welcome back to Truthfully Free. Hope you're all doing well. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Ramana Maharshi's famous Who Am I teaching? So let's dive into it. At its core, this teaching is an invitation to look inward and explore the depths of one's own being. The question, who am I, is not a mere intellectual exercise, but rather a profound spiritual inquiry that can lead to the realization of one's true nature. When one begins to ask this question, there is a tendency to think about oneself in terms of the body, mind, and intellect. However, Ramana Maharshi pointed out that these are not the real self, but rather modifications of the underlying consciousness. As one continues to inquire further, one realizes that there is a point beyond the mind where consciousness resides. This is the true self, and it is identical to the supreme consciousness. Ramana Maharshi taught that this realization is the ultimate goal of spirituality, and it can be achieved through the practice of self-inquiry. The practice of self-inquiry involves a deep and sustained effort to turn one's attention inward and explore the depths of one's own being. It is a process of self-discovery that can lead to the realization of one's true nature. To practice self-inquiry, one can begin by asking the question, who am I, and then remaining open to whatever arises in the mind. This may include thoughts, emotions, memories, or sensations. It is important not to identify with these mental modifications, but to observe them without judgment. As one practices self-inquiry, there may be a tendency to become distracted by the constant stream of thoughts and emotions. However, it is important to remain focused on the question, who am I, and to gently bring one's attention back to the inner query whenever distractions arise. With regular practice, self-inquiry can become a natural and effortless state of being. In fact, Ramana Maharshi taught that self-inquiry is not something that is done in addition to one's daily activities, but rather it is the very essence of life itself. Now let's talk about how we can apply this teaching in our lives today. In our modern world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions, and it can be challenging to find moments of stillness and solitude. However, Ramana Maharshi taught that self-inquiry can be practiced in the midst of activity. One can simply turn one's awareness to the inner query, who am I, and remain present to whatever arises in the mind. This may involve taking a few deep breaths and grounding oneself in the present moment. Additionally, one can set aside specific times of the day to practice self-inquiry in depth, such as early in the morning or before bed. During these times, one can create a quiet and peaceful environment conducive to introspection. Finally, one can also consider engaging in practices, such as meditation or yoga, to cultivate a deeper sense of inner stillness and clarity. These practices can help to quiet the mind and make it easier to turn one's attention inward. It's important to note that practicing the Who Am I method is not always easy. It can bring up uncomfortable emotions or thoughts that one may have been avoiding. However, Ramana Maharshi taught that these challenges are simply opportunities to deepen one's self-awareness and grow spiritually. Instead of running away from these difficult emotions, one can embrace them and allow them to flow through one's consciousness. This can lead to a greater sense of freedom and liberation from the grip of the ego. So the key is to start small and be patient with oneself. Consistency is key, and even just a few minutes of daily self-inquiry can lead to profound transformations over time. Additionally, one can also seek guidance from experienced practitioners or teachers to support one on one's journey. Ramana Maharshi often said that silence is the highest teaching. Who am I? Isn't meant to be answered with language. It's like pointing a finger to the sky. You don't stare at the finger. You look where it's pointing. The question points us back to the silent truth of our own being. When practiced sincerely, it dissolves the false sense of separation and reveals that what we call I is not limited, not bound by the body or the mind, but is pure awareness itself. In conclusion, Ramana Maharshi's teaching that true self-realization can be achieved through the simple yet profound question, who am I, continues to resonate with seekers today. His approach offers a direct path to enlightenment that does not rely on rituals or beliefs. By embracing the practice of self-inquiry, one can begin to explore the depths of one's own being and realize one's true nature. While the path of self-discovery may not be easy, the transformative impact it can have on one's life is truly profound. Whether one is seeking to deepen one's spiritual practice, or simply searching for a deeper understanding of oneself and the world around them, Ramana Maharshi's teachings offer a timeless wisdom that can guide the way. Other great teachers have echoed similar truths. Eckhart Tolle talks about the space of awareness that is deeper than thought. Nisargadatta Maharaja said, "The sense I am is the doorway. Stay with it." Even modern psychology now recognizes the benefits of disidentifying from thoughts, what mindfulness calls observing without attachment. So we can see how Ramana's inquiry harmonizes with both ancient wisdom and modern practices. Who am I? Isn't just a question, it's a practice, a doorway to inner peace, clarity, and freedom. In a world where identities constantly shift and distractions never end, self-inquiry offers a way back home, to the awareness that is always present, silent, and free. Now we want to hear from you. Have you tried implementing his Who Am I teaching in your life? What has your experience been like? Also, if you found this episode helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Your support means everything to us, and we look forward to continuing to share insightful content with you in the future. Thank you for tuning in, and may your journey inward bring you peace and freedom.